Hey everybody, here we are again with another episode of Grow the Game, and today I want to talk about defensive systems and kind of maybe break up some misconceptions and understand that with every defense, you're going to give up certain parts of the court. Okay, now a defense is trying to force the other team into hitting smaller spots or tougher spots, right? That's the real goal of it. It's not to literally take away everything. You may want to take away something a particular team is good at. So if you keep seeing in a game something happen, let's just say a tip. I see parents often are just baffled on why this tip keeps going down. Well, that may be something we're giving up because the other team is so good at hitting this or doing that, and so what we do is take away that and try to force them into something they're not as good at. So I'm going to explain some defenses here. Okay, I've started with, we're just assuming they're hitting from outside, and obviously if we're talking right side, everything's flipped. So let's just start. Here's our base. This is where we start. Okay, we are going to come over here, and we have a double block, right? So what we're going to start with, is rotation, and there's two different forms of this. There's what I call strong rotation and weak rotation, and it's in which way you rotate. Okay, so if you're going to rotate strong, which is what we're going to talk about first, okay, you rotate towards the ball, and by that I mean my outside here is going to be who is rotating towards or away. Okay. So when we say we rotate strong wise, I have my offside blocker rotate towards. Okay, that's probably a little too far, but they're gonna come to me over halfway, and they're looking to get tips or touches off the block, those roll shots, things of that nature. Okay, so this is going to mean off the left hand of the middle blocker here, we have my back row. This person is dropping line, okay, and then you have your middle, who I tell take one step over, okay, opposite, okay, so step away from where the ball goes, okay, and get down, okay. Now there is a few holes, and like I said, there's always going to be places that are given up, okay. So what you do give up is basically over here is a really tough spot for most defenses to get from. Again, we're talking from the outside ball, okay. It can be in the middle depending on where you put this offside blocker. If you tend to have them really close to the block, then right in this, what they would call, a lot of people call donut, okay, right here is going to be tough. If you have them further off, which I don't recommend, because typically the farther off, the more in this hard cross line they get, and we want them out of that. We want to funnel to our passer here. But if they are, then this tip right behind the block can be a little bit tricky for people. So that is our strong rotation. Okay. So here's going to be the rotation weak wise. Again, let's just talk from the outside. I think a lot of people get this confused with perimeter, but you can rotate it one way and the other, right? So instead of having this offside blocker go towards the set, I'm going to have them go away from it. So now they're just going to basically replace one another. She's going to come here. She's going to come back to the middle of the court. Middle back comes and takes line. That means setter is the one that comes up and takes away tips and whatnot. So it's just rotation one way and rotation the other way. Okay. I think it depends obviously what each team has and their strengths, and what the other team is doing and what their strengths are and weaknesses are. So this is strong in weak rotation. Like I said, it's offside blockers, how I determine strong or weak. Okay. Let's talk about what I would consider perimeter defense. And it's kind of what the name suggests, is more to the outside. You have more passers that are ready for these hits rather than always having someone that comes up for a tip. So instead of basically having, oof, that was not good. There we go. So basically, where we usually have 3 passers and 1 person designated as taking away tips, in perimeter, this person is going to drop. Okay. This person is going to take 1 step over. Okay, 1 step towards the ball now instead of away. Going to drop kind of in between the 10-foot and their middle back. An offside blocker will drop to about 10 foot. So now what it ends up looking like, let me give you the final product look here. What you have is your double block. You basically kind of have this perimeter, the whole edge taken away. Now, obviously, what you do give up is the short ball. Now, if your kids are really good at reading and reacting, every ball should be in front of them. Maybe you're playing a team that just can hammer the ball. I mean, they're great at swinging. They're not having to rely on tips or rolls or none of this stuff. They're just swinging away. Maybe perimeters for you. But you do give up short and therefore can be troublesome. Okay. So the last one I want to talk about is something that doesn't happen quite as often, but I think it has its place. There's also multiple others you guys can probably look up, and there's also probably multiple ways to call these different. Okay, so this is just what I know and what I'm going with. Okay, so we have our normal coming from the outside. A middle up defense will typically, it's slightly different in that the setter or middle back, or 9 times out of 10 I see setter, they come more to the middle of the court where you get the name middle up. They'll come to the middle of the court. It's not necessarily right behind the block. You have this person come over, take line, drop, offside blocker, drop. So it's the only real difference for me in middle up and my weak side rotation is going to be where they end up being. So normally for me on rotation, they're coming up closer to the block, whereas middle up is more towards literally the middle. What you do give up is kind of more kind of just different spots, I would say. So there's 4 pretty common defenses and how to shift, and again, make it your own. Make it based off what the other team does, what you have available to do. So again, thank y'all so much. I look forward to hearing from you guys, your suggestions, people we should interview, getting back on the interview train, and as well as looking at Monday, starting that online apparel sale and having that money go to a coaches clinic this summer that we'll host and have a pretty good, awesome lineup that can hopefully train up some coaches and we can do better for these kids. Thank y'all so much.